Have you ever wanted to listen to a 37-year-old grown adult drone on for almost an hour over footage of themselves, urban aggressive power, roller triblade, inline grind skating? Well, you've come to the right place. This is Blade Practice Commentary. This is me doing a frontside in the K2 Big Block prototypes back in 2016. Those wheels right there were really good. They were the undercover dual density 58. I think hard inner, soft outer. Or maybe it was soft inner. I think it's soft inner and hard outer. Great wheels. Even though that was a 65 max frame. See, that was rough pavement into a UFO slide to switch backside. That was a toe slide mixed with the backside on rough pavement. The curb needs to be the right height for that trick. Here is a heel tap into 270 front side. That was those were the K2 Midtown prototypes before they came out in 2017. The heel popper off the backside, always a fun trick, especially in longer frames. I'm going to say right now, I'm not down with the skinny sweatpants, but they were comfortable to skate in. I wouldn't skate in them today. A 270 switch backside to sole. A classic switch up from, I think Damaged Goods was the first time, or Hoax. Rolling up on the toes, unwaxed. See how my front foot stopped there? It wasn't the greatest, but unwaxed tricks are always good. Nice Royale. You got to bend a little bit more, and a nice Unity here. You got to bend more in those frames because they are taller. But they rode amazing with those 58mm wheels. The 3 Ms revert out. I always feel so weird that there's K2 logos plastered on our stuff when I don't think they're even into aggressive anymore. But they're great skates. Still are. It was a long sole grind. Here now on the Wizard boots. A good slide is if your wheels are spinning the whole way through. Curb bonks, always fun in Wizard frames. There's a fakey curb bonk. There's so many ways you can explore a simple spot in Wizards. That was a toe slide. This is technically... I want to do more of that, where you're like, it's a wheel slide, but it's a grind. That trick right there is hard to get right. You'll see a lot of those in this edit. The fast slide. That wall ride you'll see numerous times. Hitting the wall, jumping up, grabbing the boots all the way around. There's those sweatpants again. I wear those at home. Oh, wall tap to Macchio grind in the Wizard boot. I was grinding on fabric there. Nice little half toe tap, toe slide. There's so many fun tricks to do in the Wizard frames. Here's a right foot wall ride to Liu Kang. The thumb and the hand fully grabbing the skate. This was inspired by watching ski videos. That was a 180 hand plant mute grab. Here, lacking a bit of style on the crouch. I bet if I had baggier pants, it would look like I crouched more. Jumping up and grabbing the boots. I still think boot grabs are fun, but funny at the same time. This is an uncommitted hand plant. Not as good as the one that I did in Rims a while ago, but you know, not down with this trick. Not down with the cross grab or the landing there, but it was an interesting experiment. Here is a classic OG blader trick in the words of Stu. A 540 to flat. Definitely missed the grab, but you can see how the rocker comes into play on the swivel out there. That wall ride's hard because you got to do it low, so it's hard to get both feet planted on. This, Joe Atkinson, you can have this one. Medspin Popper 360 off the coping. Here is something that might offend people, but sliding on the wheels with the pud slide on a rail. Here's another one, jumping up, grabbing the boots over the hip. This is the wrong setup for the bowl, but it's still fun to do once in a while because, you know, ideally you want to come up and backside that wall after doing the grab. Oh, he's back. And he's doing a fast slide, set slide, nice crouch landing, got further down there. Here's the same thing, trying to mix a wheel slide with a grind. So fun to experiment on this setup. Now we have the same right foot wall ride, but with a mute grab this time. The toe tap before is now a pud slide cess. That's a really fun trick that I love doing. There's a toe slide. Those wheels were 88. They're a little bit too... Oh! Fakie 270 fast slide. Very nice. I gotta do that more. This... See how the wheels stop and I spin out? Like I said, if your wheels are still spinning and turning, then it's a smoother slide. So slow motion can really reveal some of the problems. Well, that is a big 540. No grab. But he lands it and rolls away. Another OG Blader certified trick. That was sweet how I went into kind of like a fly fish and then held the safety. That was again inspired by watching ski videos. There is frontside. I love watching the wheel pop off. It was a sticky frontside to 540. This one I'm very happy with. It was step on, but fast sliding on that wheel and then jumping off. I eventually won a 5 out of that. Unless I did that here, I can't remember. Oh, this was after traveling. I got back. It was like October 2016 maybe. And this was the first session on the MB UC wheels, and they felt so much better than the, that's a cool idea, fast plant to tap. They felt so much better than the red 88As. Slide better, they're cushionier. This trick was for Frank Stoner. He was asking about like a mushroom blading style trick to do on a flat deck to get speed for the next wall. I think that's what he asked. And these two were... Lucy! Sorry about the barking dog. Those are the two that or maybe I sent him that one. Eventually I wanted to do that into a toe stall. You always gotta bash into curbs and things and launch off of them to test wheels or when you have the wizards on. I love how it slid there. Love doing that trick when I go there. Wall ride into the... Lucy! There'll be lots of wheel slides here until the aggressive section. Here's a late 360. Love doing that trick, but I think I can do it more stylishly in aggressives. This was again watching skiing. Missed the grab on that one. I think I was watching Henrik Harlow do that one. Again, missed the grab. Couldn't connect to either of those ones, but at least the idea is there. Here's another pud wheel slide, 2 fly fish. And then this is inspired by Danny Beer. I don't know what this is called, but that's where you stick your legs through the square. Now in the R100s, testing the mushroom blading wheels. There's a wheel slide on rough cement at the old skate park with a toe popper. You can see how rough the cement is at that place. Wall jammer. You can see a little bit less responsive on the R100s and the unnatural setup, but fun nonetheless. Another toe slide. Have way too much fun doing that trick. Doing it on that weird wood panel ramp thing, they slid really, really, really well. I love when you can see the rocker come into play in the slow motion there. Here's with a technical rail trick, but done on flat ground. I guess that's a 450 Royale. But you can see I kind of cheat into like a turn and then slide. So many possibilities when you're in the right mood. Oh, it was good until the feet go further out. But you can also see the soft wheels there come into play, how you can really press into them. There's so many ideas. I'm a huge fan of that trick. I don't know what it is, but I always love doing it on that bank. It's like a swivel 270 kicker slide thing. This one you can see how the front of the frame, you can like, boom, like flick it off the 90-degree part of the ledge. Fakie carve's always nice. I always think I'm crouching so low, and then I'm not. Another toe tapper. Can't go wrong. See, I like when it's ungrabbed more than it's grabbed. It's more blade specific. At the covered spot during the winter, again, you can see how the soft wheels come into play. They'll press down on the ledge. That is a rough ledge. Oh, that could have been the first time I did that one. Wheel slide to toe slide. That's in the last R100 thing that I did. Oh, I see this is going pretty fast still. That was a pud cess slammer. There's so many tricks here that I got to remember to write down and do. So the key to the wheel slide off the curb is you put your foot almost straight and then turn. This was a good session. That is, love that trick. Fast slide to 270, switch heel roll to fakie. And then there's the one that I did on the bank. It's like a fast slide 270 fast slide. A little bit of a step on, but pretty much that was the same trick, but off of a Macchio grind. Loved that setup. What is this one? Oh, yep. I do that one in MB7. It's the fast slide to 270 switch pud slide. A little bit too much of a stall there, but still nice. Wheel slide to outspin. This is inspired by, that one turned out pretty good. Swivel down the stairs. That wasn't inspired by Damian Wilson, but one of these are. These are all inspired by myself. There's the Damian Wilson one. It's like, I don't know, he's done something like that before. So much you can do when you take grinds out of the equation. That was one of the best one of those I did for like hip turn. Love doing this one. Grabbed, med spin, 270, wheel slide, 270 out. And then that's the one that looks like a Damian Wilson trick. But I'm not sure what trick I'm thinking of. I just know it's like a Damian Wilson trick. I love that setup. I just got to say it again. It was so funny. The soft wheels on a super chunked ledge, I don't think I even waxed that. They still slid really, really, really well. The setup's more versatile than you would think. I really, really love it. It was the size 8.5 unnaturals. Oh, popping off the toes and then sliding, popping off the toes. I don't think that was even waxed. That was just a chunky ledge. Another toe flicker here from a wheel slide. There's so many subtle things you can do in the Wizard or the R100, but the unnatural boots were really good specifically for the support on the top. Like you could really press into the cuffs, because where people think that they're stiff for aggressive skating, they're actually very supportive. I'm skating these pretty good, I'm not going to lie. In an alternate universe, this would have been like a MB pro skate, but that wasn't even close to happening or never even in the conversation. But this is technically, in my mind, like a lower cost pro MB Wizard imitation skate. Back in the Wizards, I should have been commentating on that stuff. Smashing against walls, Mitchell goosening off the wall. That was inspired by Danny Beer in the Dino 3 mixtape. Grabbing the boots, getting air sideways. Love doing right foot wall rides. Is that on the big box? Oh, it is. You got to go fast to do that one. Wheel sliding on quarter pipes, still a fairly unexplored thing that I want to do more with. Oh, man. Look at that flick to the flat, too. Got a 3 out that, or 5 out that. Here's just doing a nice big ungrabbed air. Those kids were at least... Oh, no, the kid goes back to his phone. The other kid was impressed. And now some aggressive inline skating. What am I in here? The bigger unnatural boots, so these are the size 9s with the longer frames and 58 millimeter undercover wheels. It was a nice back farve leaning in. I really don't like what I do with my hands for acid soles, so I don't do them very often. It almost feels like I'm making fun of acid soles when I do them. Love doing that one. That's the one that you saw earlier, but without the 270 to backside. So wheel slide to switch backside to sole. Quick fakie to in spin, ungrabbed mock to fakie. You see, I got all kinds of tricks. Look at that one. Top sole to fast slide out. I'm taking what I've learned on the Wizards and the R100s and I'm adapting it to aggressive inline skates. This I always love doing. I do a way better one in MB7 where I actually Macchio slide down the other side. Partly inspired by Werbeski. More heel poppers there, but it's like went into a dark side and then heel popped. That probably took way more tries than you would think. Looking through the window on the backside, staring at the ground, trying to like lean in on it. If you go really fast, you can get a good lean on the edge here. And this is harder than you would think, because in flat, with that Royale groove is too deep still. I think if they were ever to make another version of that boot, they would fill in that space a little bit more. Oh, right foot wall ride to heel roll on the ledge. See, I'm back in the R100s, and I'm inspired to go faster and do more wheel slidey stuff. It's when you switch between aggressive and big wheel, you come up with new stuff. That is actually really scary to do and hard, but especially with the grab, because you can die pretty easily. But that, I think, still needs to be developed, but there's something interesting there. That's, again, a lot of the best stuff here is inspired by Danny Beer. Dan Beer. What do we got here? Left foot swivel to Macchio. Oh, toe tap, heel tap. See, whenever there's too much stalling during a trick, it just doesn't, with the slow motion really reveals that. Wow, that probably took a whole bunch of tries. I think I had a really good day this day, so that was it. I hadn't done that one, and I had done that one in aggressive, but it felt way better in this setup. That was inspired by Leon's FRA edit, where he does a top acid and squeaks the rail and then fives. That also gave me a trick idea for later. That's a Danny Beer inspired trick as well. That feels so good in Wizards or R100s. Med spin 270 to fast slide. See, if that was on a rail, people would be clapping, but the ground as a P rail is less impressive. That was inspired by Josh Petty. Just flick wise. Did I miss that? Was that med spin? I had a good day this day. I loved this shirt until I put it in the dryer. I should have hung dry it. Macchio up the hump to fast slide. Oh, and then this is where I got the idea on the rail with the stick. Sole 270 flick off the urethane to Macchio, and then flick off the 90-degree part of the ledge with the longer frame. There's little details here, you know. That probably needed to be a longer quarter pipe for that to work. Oh, I think I gotta go back for that one in aggressive, and then I do this one again, but adds the kick in. You can see here the progression. I hate that word, but actually practicing every weekend. That was crazy how my leg went over my knee. This is a MB1 trick from the heroin section that I did way better in this setup. The landing's sloppy, but I remember going so fast into it. Not much stalling. Going for the grab. That's more dangerous than you would think. That hump doesn't look dangerous. And then here I am. This is the week later when I wanted to hit this on the rail. Look at this. I was already sweating so much. I must have tried it so much. Boom! I have some technical tricks. I can do them. Here's the return of the bad sweatpants. I promise to not wear anything like this again, but I think I was coming back from a summer vacation trip at the lake and only had a little bit of time, so quickly went out and hit the skate park before, I think, buying fast food and hanging out at home. This is also before I had a kid. I didn't even know I was having a kid here. I just got to skate in free time when I had it. There was no childcare duties yet. Bonker into the curb. This is the first time I had done this one. See, that's like a disaster royale, but instead of a rail or an object to grind, it's just the ground. Still developing that's what I was gonna say. You can see progression in my confidence and tricks. That's crazier than you would think. Disaster fast slide over the flat top of the pyramid. You can see I broke the wood on that thing, and then it gave me this trick idea. Oh no, it's coming out. I'll say again that the unnatural in a smaller size with the R100 is a really good setup, with the MB wheels, of course, not with any stock K2 wheels. They're not horrible. They're just not as good as these wheels. That, I think, took a bunch of tries to get right, but it's such a cool idea. See, that's watching skiing as well, how they can just freestyle on curved surfaces and humps and things like that. This is crazier than you'd think to get all the way down on the boot with a 100mm frame. I could just feel the cuff flexing so much, but it's amazing the things that you can do on a frame that tall and that long. Let's see if there's another. Oh, see, I don't even know if I had wax and I was sliding this stuff. I don't know, like that. Some of these things are crazier than I remember. That was just an unwaxed, super rough ledge, and I did. Yeah, that was the trick I was talking about. I hated the landing on that. I would stick my bum out in my hands like that. Tried to get that again for MB7, but I didn't do it good enough. Now I'm in the 5-wheel Wizards. You can see I'm in the opposite of a V-cut skate, like a high liner. This one's really good. Heel tap on the 5th wheel. Lots of precision. That's a Colin Brady and Leon inspired trick. This has a better crouch. Nice together. That was probably inspired more by Colin Martin in terms of the stance and keeping the feet together. This setup's so fun to just go full speed and do straight airs. And landing on flat with this setup, like on that trick, it just absorbs, those wheels and that liner just absorbs everything. I almost capped to flat here. Just the very bottom of the transition. Oh, and then in a pair of V13s with wish frames. There's that trick again. You start by keeping your foot straight and then you turn it and then go into the slide. You can tell I'm feeling it too. I remember when I royaled in these, it felt like home because it felt like I had M12s in size 10 way back when I first started skating. So that's like Acid Soul, where, see, that felt better than I thought it did. But then this is like Acid Soul, where it feels like I'm making fun of the trick. So there you go. Stare into the camera. That's, I think, called the dog peeing negative Macchio. And then here, nobody got this, but I was doing the cuffed and tucked and 1 foot push thing because that was like a thing. So I was trying to imitate that style. My shirt was tucked in, my pants were tucked, and I did the skateboard push. But I was definitely really enjoying these skates, and after doing all that R100 stuff and Wizard stuff, having the wish frame and then an aggressive boot that I could use the intuition in that fit pretty nice. I think I was enjoying a lot of people skating that were in V13s as well. I love the look of them, so there was that. That is inspired by Fernando in Making Dreams Reality. Med spin on top of the ledge to... Oh, I don't do that trick very often, but I should do it more. They look decent. Grabbed alley-oop Macchio. Yeah, Fernando did the med spin on top of the ledge. I think right here, and it wasn't the fault of the wish frames, it was the fault of the Rosas. I had a tiny crack in the top of my wish frame because the heel bolts would get loose on the sole plate, and then tons of torque and flex would happen on the front of the wish frame. What was that one? 540 swivel to fakie Mizu, or was that 360 swivel to 360 Mizu fakie out? Not sure, but I like that one. I gotta do it more. Oh, okay, so this is the same one to switch backside. You can see really enjoying the large grind gap on the wish frames. That was one of the better ones of those. Oh no, it's the next one. That is obviously the Dustin Latimer inspired peyote spin. He did that in quality, I think. This one, how I rolled, like off of the peyote, I slammed into the curb and was rolling on my switch foot, and then it was 270 to frontside. Nice squat. The Royale groove on the V13 is so nice because you really got to bend, especially with the wish frame. Heel rammer, Danny Beer inspired trick. I was looking at the camera for some reason. Here we gotta really enjoy top soling things, even if they're low curbs. Boom, toe tap. I gotta learn that to toe slide. I should be writing some of this stuff down. There's tricks that I do that I forget. I think that was inspired by Matt Andrews, but he didn't do it wheel slide on rough cement. Look at the birds in the background. Seth Slammer to back slide. Getting Kelso. I don't know what that was, but I was definitely feeling it this day. That was trying to do like the heel roll smasher to toe popper out. Soyal grind, where I should have filmed the whole body here, but again, you can tell that I'm really enjoying this setup. The wish frame, 65 on the outside, 54 in the middle, with M12 V13, they're M12s, with the intuition liners in. Technical mix of Wizard and R100 toe taps with grinds. That was a little, the switch into the backslide should have been faster on that one. But what can you do? I'm still learning these things. This was, I think, the first time I did this one. I don't know what that's called. Or where I got it from. I don't know. The leg hooker, I have no idea. 270 switch backside to fast slide, wheel slide out. There's so many fun tricks and possibilities to do on rollerblades. It's pretty overwhelming. Oh, and this is where the Mizus were really beginning. Mizus felt so good in these skates. I love how the leg made like a loop on that one. That was like a med spin to forward to sole. Again, really enjoy top soling things. And you have to really bend to get the top sole in that setup, which is a good thing. See, again, taking what I've learned in the Wizards and R100s and applying them to aggressive inline skates. Wasn't sure if I could thread the needle with wish frames because they were longer, but there you go. And then adding the fast slid in, you can see how skating the different setups feed into one another, and then you get certain ideas. That, I was trying to be Shane Scour at the end there, where you bend so hard on the rail that it almost looks like a topsail at the end. That isn't fully realized yet, but I love that idea of actually pushing off of a wall with your toes. This one I did in the MB7 Rayleigh session. Can't remember where I got that idea or how I got that idea, or if that was the first time I've done something like that, but that's a really fun one with lots of possibilities. Testing out the swivel capabilities of the Wish into a Royale grind on the ledge with non-raised coping, so Royales are harder on that one. And then again, going for the end stalling trick, trying to think of what I do if I Macchio down. Oh, I do kind of Macchio down the edge on that one. Watching skiing, inspired to do the double grab swivel to drop alley-oop Macchio. What do we got here? Oh, I can't remember. That's inspired by roller skating, I think. And then I can't remember who did it first with the grind, if it was Colin Martin or Todd or somebody. That's inspired by Latimer and Quality, the lift up leg Mizu switch. So many possibilities, because I don't know if that's a budget switch up. I don't know what that would be called. maybe too many toe taps so far, you know? Maybe going a little overboard with the toe taps, but overall I've been enjoying watching this guy skate. He's pretty good. So there's the Fernando trick again, but the med spin's on the bottom of the ground instead of the top of the ledge. A little sticky on the swivel there. Maybe a little excessive. Could have just went for the med spin to Mizu. I think he would have been okay. Also, really bad squeaking on the boots. That's on the BMX rail, grinding the lower part of the rail and the upper part. I didn't wax the cuffs until a later session here. A very rare forward porn star grind here that obviously I didn't get very good, so I'll just do something, attempted to be creative and tap my toes. Hey, it looks good in normal motion. I'm a big fan of that trick. That was inspired by Danny Beer, the kick through thing, and Matt Ledoux mixed together. But I love, that would look cool fisheye if the fisheye was right on the square part. This one, I tried to refilm for MB7, but I just wasn't happy with it. You can see the swivel wasn't perfect. You can hear the sprinklers in the distance. There's the leg hook again, and then I love when you almost stop after doing a trick. Another topsail, and then I'm gonna transition and grind down the edge of the quarter pipe. Again, many possibilities with roller blades. Oh, and then this is one of the better ones I've done. I redid this one for MB7 where I go, oh no, that wasn't even the one. Yeah, the MB7 one that I did was really good because I go around and then Macchio down. Maybe I do it here. I go like around the end of the rail, lean into it. Oh yeah, there it is. Stall for a second, then Macchio down. Technical. Very technical. And then we got a swivel 540 to switch backside, taking advantage of the large blocks on the wish frames. Here is a Werbeski inspired trick. I think he calls it a cork. Also, Mike Leaf did this one in an Intuition video, the Skate Shop Intuition, not sure which one. Starting to test the leg hook trick on going down a bank and then hitting a rail. Again, so many possibilities on skates. So many tricks to do. Look at the focus here. Coming in with a little carve, setting up for the sole grind, and then going into the leg hook to swivel to fakie. So many possibilities. That one's more dangerous than you would think. And then a Shima inspired trick where, you know, don't just grind the main part, but the part after the part. I don't know if that's what it's called. Whoa, crazy stuff. Big long UFO slide, hit the corner of the ledge, 270 Macchio. I think I got that first try and was very proud of myself that I was able to do that. And then surprisingly, here we go, we're back on the Wizards. It's almost shocking, but look at the swiveliness compared to the wish frames. Really enjoying some swiveliness there. And then, like a crazy person going into grinds, our tenants blending something. So that's what that sound is. Again, maybe getting a little bit too heavy on the toe and heel tappers, but I'll take it. I love watching the urethane flick off of a object for grinding. See that little correction there? It was so much smoother in that setup than if it was in the Wish with the M12s. You can tell this setup is more responsive. That was the most dangerous one of those I had ever done. There was no wax on the rail, and I usually step onto it with my right foot, but I fully jumped on. Whoa, that was crazy. I fully jumped on there. I think that's where I put the helmet on. We got a fakie 270 slide. Bad angle here, but that one I tried to get for MB7 and couldn't get it as good. The 540 grabbed 1 foot to slide. That one, what was that? It was like a weird revert thing, double tapper. Some of this stuff would be so much better with a long shot filmer or a fisheye angle. Some of these angles are in too tight. Colin Martin and Andrew Nemirovsky were both critical of when you can't see the full body, because you can really see like there just how bad the style might be. Like something was off this day. You can see, yeah, there's way too much. Anything that's too stally or has too much delay, like this is not working, but I left it in anyway. It's not like the main video. This series was called Blade Practice. It was to come up with new ideas, but you can tell very underdeveloped, and that probably isn't the right setup for that trick. Do I 5 off this one? Oh, I did. That's funny how earlier I was like, I want to 5 off that one. I forgot I did that. That's called Scott Blackmore does that on a rail, and I think it's called a genre or a double genre. I can't remember. That's a cool idea, but underdeveloped. Yeah, I don't think I even had any wax this day. Another underdeveloped idea, the swivel into the hold, the fast slide, and then go down the quarter pipe in the fast slide position. The triple run. Was it the triple run? Yeah, I did that in the red varsities. Really enjoy that trick. That going super fast. I want to do that into an air eventually. Oh, toe popper into the bank. Almost cased it in the 5-wheel wizards. Look at that. So much force. Bonk that thing up. Whoa. Anything where the arms go up. You can see the heel pop was nice on that though. Loved doing this in the 5-wheel. It would like flick off the toes and then flick off the heels, and it almost looks like you're doing like a Mario double jump off the top of the pyramid. That trick was really fun to do in that setup, but you almost need more speed and a bigger bank. It's more of like a R100 or a wizard trick here, but it was fun to test these out, like flicking off the toes there. Getting some air and then grabbing the heel wheel. Whoa! Crazy mess up. Yeah, it was fun to grab the back, the 5th wheel on the frame. It was in such a unique position that you wouldn't normally be used to in aggressive skates. This one turned out really good, but again, it'd be nice to see the whole body. I gotta think more of it. Sometimes it's hard to know to like be on the skates or zoom farther back. That one I was really enjoyed. I don't even know what that was. It was like a 720 swivel with a wheel slide, pop off the toes. That was inspired by Colin Brady, where you flick. I don't even know what you would call that, but you like fake out the direction you're going. The best thing about those long frames is, yeah, flicking off the toes or the heels is the most fun thing to do. I don't think there's anything special about the 5 wheels for that one, but same with that one. I think you could do that in almost any skate. Actually, that would be harder in aggressives or anti-rocker. You might just stick there. But there's a wheel slide to like flick the heels. To like, I'll try not to like say like a whole bunch. That was really fun to press into the toe on that one with the leg wrapped around. You can see I have the K2 cuffs on. They worked so good with this setup, but the cuff bolt came out all the time. There's another all the way to the flat. Give myself a trophy for that. Yeah, you can see that this is the type of setup that you'd have to skate a lot to really get the potential going. There's still so much left to explore there. But now, back on aggressive inlines, because of skating the 5-wheel, I go back to these and I'm feeling more free with the light skates. Not that the 5 wheels aren't free. Oh, and then like I get all these new ideas from skating the 5 wheels, that it's like a very straightforward and simple way of exploring skating, and then you put these boots back on with this grind block and you're like, oh, I can do all kinds of wacky shit now. Like that trick. That was a redo of a trick I did in the red varsities. I ate shit on this one so many times, because that's what a smaller sole will do to you. And then I'm like, I've been grabbing this one, I'm gonna kick now. I'm gonna kick. That one into an air would be really nice. backside up and across the little ramp, the little concrete ramp. New ideas coming in. What do I do here? I can't remember. Right foot wall ride to right foot fast slide, which is I think my switch fast slide. See, I can get tech. That was a backside cess to, I don't know what you would call that, but I was feeling it, so I just did that little alley-oop soul stall at the end. And then this weird little board thing was still here, and it was just set up, so I did a swivel up it, and then a sweat stance tap. That's the kind of, when people critique modern skating, that's what they think it all is, that little sweat stance tap. When in fact, it's actually things like this. Backslide up, Macchio stall down, one fakie crossover, almost into like a crabber to soul, which I wanted to redo this one for MB7, and I do, it's in the intro, but I actually still like this one better, because I was in the small thems and they hurt my feet. That is called a dirt slide. I'm pretty sure Feinberg coined it. Here's the Scott Blackmore genre or double genre. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Oh, and then this is the first time I did the Mizu kick Mizu, which I'm surprised. Oh, and then flick off the edge. I don't think I had seen anybody do that before. And then all of a sudden, a big fail on switching skates. I do not like these skates for aggressive skating. I don't like that sole plate. Look at how disgusting the negative is on that sole plate. It's not a bad sole plate, but I just didn't enjoy the switch here to these skates. But I did some decent stuff here. Unwaxed. Or was that waxed? Is there a little bit of wax? No, that's just like the frame. Cletus sent me these white frames in a different material, and I remember it being more brittle. That was actually kind of cool. More brittle than the black ones that I had. So this place has really rough ledges, and I remember them being really, really loud, grind-wise. They were good. I still have them, and I've still been skating them. And I skated them in MB7. That's a cool idea, but not executed very well. I don't even know what you would call that, but I think I saw that on Instagram where somebody did a Mizu and then left their one foot up on the ledge. Always good to express yourself on capped spots. Backside across the channel. Those skates just looked really big and kind of not good. Not that those skates don't look good on other people, but those ones specifically just look too big on me. Now I'm back at NorCam in the Wizard frames after switching out to a couple different skates. Big slide. See, I think I went back here and wanted to try some of the Wish frame stuff in the Wizard setup. Yeah, those wheels slide so good on many different objects, and I think it's because it's the older ones with the more flexible core, same as the Hydrogens. Like, I went full speed at that curb and just front-sided it and flicked the toes down. Even Medspin, it sticks a little bit at the end there, but like how you can push off the urethane. Medspin or shuffle to fast slide. Nice wall ride to popper. Really comfy setup and responsive. There's the fast slide 270 fast slide that I did in the R100s earlier. Really enjoy skating not in the helmet sometimes. That one's not fully realized, but an interesting idea, like fast slide into a carve with the left foot to front side. Here's the toe slide, but performed way better than the last one. You can see the progression in the skills. This was after watching a lot of Micro Circus stuff. This one may have even have made Micro Circus. That's obviously inspired by Colin Martin. There was so much great skating to watch in this time, from Danny to Scott Blackmore to Colin Martin, Andrew Niemirowski, Harry Abel, the list goes on and on. Colin Brady, Stuart Brady. There's one of those tricks where my legs went up so high I couldn't believe that a tall, over 35 dude did that. That one turned out so good, and it's hard to replicate that again. I don't even really know what that was, but I was just freestyling. There's the fast slide, 270 fast slide, and then into the front side, and then the little toe popper off. I'm impressed with this stuff, honestly. You watch older footage of yourself skating, and then you're hard on yourself when you go skating again because you want to be able to do everything that you could do before. Like picking up the trash while doing a macchio and throwing it out, helping the environment. Or that's not helping the environment, maybe helping the skate park. That was inspired by Danny Beer. I saw him do that on the failed sequel to Zone trick. He did it at the top of a ledge and then jumped into the ledge. So then I added a grind and then a switch up. 90 degree grinding around the corner, inspired by Shima in Leading the Blind. Heel slide, I don't know, maybe I saw Danny do that one, I'm not sure. And then refining this one, my leg was sore for a week after doing that with so much speed going towards the rail. The leg hook, if you're not careful, it can like make your hip hurt quite a bit because you're tugging it out. Sorry, I said like a few times there. That's inspired by an old Kazoo photo. I can't remember. Oh, there's some crazy stuff happening in the video. The hang leg fish brain is inspired by an old Japanese skater photo. That was a fakie popper to switch backside. Even though that was a step on, I was always a fan of the little carve on the concrete piece on that trick. And now this is the reverse of the Shima trick, grinding around a 90 degree corner. And although I kind of slowed down, it was real street skating. That I did an MB7 way better with like a kick and more of a squat. That's super dangerous, especially without wearing a helmet. I should have my helmet on there. And that's more of an aggressive trick than a wizard trick. Although it's possible in wizards. Oh, double shifty in the 5-wheel wizards. Back in the 5-wheel wizards. You can tell, that setup's really limiting, especially not in a bad way, but in using the giant liners. There's the Danny Beer double rail tap again. That was, I think, the first time I did that one, the bigger ledge wall ride at the skate park. There's, I guess you would call that a nollie in skiing. I don't know what you would call it in skating. I call it a nollie or a toe popper. That one turned out really good, even though it had a slow roll away. Oh, and then the Leon blocks. That was, it was so fun to skate a base that long, coming off of rails, like popping off the toes and heels and the wheels. I think this one I did an abstract, but popped off heel and toe there. And then that was all off the wheels, on the come up and come out of that one. And then trying to do that heel one, but actually hooking the frame under the rail. That was a good sesh. Actually, I take it back. That was the best one of those I've ever done. When you can totally separate your upper and lower body. And then there's the version of the 270 fast slide, but with a kick. And then some micro circus action. It's fun to do precise stuff at simple spots and keep skating fun. Big stomp out. So many little things you can do to change your skating. Late 180 popper to keep it fresh and enjoy it. I love doing carves like that if you can grab onto something and turn even sharper. Like you have to realize that this is just a simple, dumb, covered spot. But you can just start messing around and come up with things like that. I think that was the first time I'd done that. Although I like when the heels are tighter together and not separated. I think that was the first time I had done that trick like that with the leg hook around the back. That one's super fun to do, super scary, even on a 3-stair. I want to eventually turn back to forward cross leg. That one was hard to do, and I want to keep developing it. Toe slide into a immediate fakie carve. That one was sweet that I popped over the leaf. You have way more control than you would think in the softer wheels, the way they respond. That's a really good idea, but not fully realized. So fun to do that on meridians and cam loops. Oh, back for grinds, this time in the R100 instead of the Wizard. Yeah, you can see that setup's less responsive than the Wizard frames, but it has a sole, and the upper part of it is super supportive, so you can come up with different kinds of tricks. This is me not knowing how to gazelle at all, but I love the idea of doing an interesting carve into a grind. This is getting me excited to skate the R100s and the Wizards more, although I'm on an aggressive skating kick right now, grinder blading kick. That was inspired by Phil Casabon. No. Wait, Eddie Chung did a version of that, but it was to heel. That took way longer than you would have thought. The pop to pop. Again, I love watching the flick off the urethane, and then I landed back in like a stair ride. This one, there's so much more territory to explore. It's like a sole, and then you stall in the front toes, which I don't think is available to do in every frame. Like, I don't know if you could do it in those Wish frames. That I've always wanted to do at the park. I love grinding that little inside edge, but I've never transferred to the curved ledge. It'd be cool to get the whole thing one day. Bringing the toe tapper back, but maybe a fresh take on it. I'll try and toe tap less in 2020 and 2021. This was inspired by the Gangster Challenge for the Dime Glory Challenge, but something else too, and I can't remember what it... I can't remember if Colin Martin was talking about the fold yet here, but it was a mix of those two things. Oh, and I guess in skiing, when they try really hard to not try, like a lack of movement while doing a grind or an air. Oh, the triple. I was definitely inspired by that. I can't remember if I was taking performance-enhancing drugs here or not, because I transferred to another station from that jump. And then it's funny, I did this the other day where I imitate good style. Really low strides and super relaxed hands, and my hands were so relaxed I slapped the ground. But I remember doing that the other day, and some kid was like, "Damn, that was good style," and he actually didn't understand. He enjoyed the style, even though it was a joke. So maybe I need to do that more often. That was the double genre to fast slide. Same trick I did in the R100s, the torque spin. Rough surface to do it on, and harder to do it in Wish frames. It's easier to do in short, lower ride height frames. There's the good style again. Hood on, hood off. This is where I'm really feeling the Mizu. It feels so good in thems, and V13/M12's Mizus feel amazing. A good Mizu, heel tap in the inside, taking a Danny Beer idea but mixing it with a grind. Learn some new shit. It's hard to read that properly, but I wanted to capture it because the way they wrote it was weird. This was the first time I had done this one. Toe roll to toe slide. One of those tricks where you think to yourself, man, there's so much stuff left to do. Wall ride to soul grind. I did that pretty good. I probably took a whole bunch of tries to do that. 360 swivel to heel roll. Simple maneuver, but very fun to do, especially on that object. Shima inspired a grind around the 90-degree corner. This is a rare zero porn from a fast slide. I like the way my upper body and lower body moved on that one. It actually looked like I knew what I was doing and that I was good at skating. This is a redo from a trick in my part killer section, but I added the wheel slide out. Not a cess slide, that was all wheel slide. So again, you can see how the Wizard and R100 is influencing this skating. Oh, see, the Mizus and sweat stances feeling so good. And then a thread the needle and wish, longer frame, but you can get it through the loop. And then adding in a wheel slide and a med spin and a revert. Really feeling it there. And then this is a redo of the one that I did in the R100. I don't know which one I prefer. They're both different. Here's the Eddie Chung one. I saw him do it on Instagram. Wheel slide to double alley-oop heel. And then this is where, oh yeah, and then I did it. Oh, then that was the first time I had done that one. Backslide to alley-oop double toe. I think I wrote that down in a book and then had to do it. See, that was a better toe bash because it actually like rolled up the wall and flicked it. This one I had wrote down, but I still can't. That wasn't perfect, but yeah, 360 swivel to toe slide. It's hard to keep up with my own skating right here. That was that's hard to get, but it's I've been working on that one where you stall on the toes. Like actually, it almost feels like a backfire where you press into them and the urethane flexes so much that you can actually hang out on your toes while moving your body forward. And then I think this is the last session. That one I redid for MB7. I took the pieces of the Blade practice series that I liked the most and then redid it for MB7. Again, not wearing the helmet. Love doing the zigzag in Wizard frames because they're so maneuverable. That was inspired by Leon, maybe? I'm not sure who did that first, but landing in one foot and then spinning out in the slide. That was, I think that just came to me that day and I really like doing that now. Like planting off something and then toe stalling the stairs. That's underdeveloped, but being able to carve and then go into a slide off of something. Then that one I redid for MB7 but got way higher up on the wall. Feels really good to land in Wizards on that one. And the way the urethane sticks on the rail feels really good. Because if that was an anti, you might just slide right out. That was a lot. Thank you for watching and listening. If there's anything that I could do better for this, let me know. And also, we have a Patreon now, so if you enjoyed this, join the Patreon, and you might get even more in-depth nerdy stuff about urban, aggressive power roller, Triblade, inline grind skating. Thank you. Keep skating or something.